Hello friends, I made this for. My name is Lauren, and today I have for you a just general reading of the energy around tomorrow's dark moon or new moon in Leo. If you've never been here before, hi, hello, my name is Lauren, like I said, and I am a tarot reader, astrology fan, art ritual facilitator, artist, and all those weird and wonderful things. So today, like I said, this is all about the dark moon. We are in Leo season, so of course our moon, our new moon, is going to be in Leo because they are conjunct. That is what happens. If you have been here before, returning subscribers, oh my god, hi. I love you. You look beautiful. Has anyone told you that today? You've been drinking water? Have you been drinking Mystic Mango Kombucha? That's been me. So let's get into it. Let's get into the magic. It's been a crazy year for astrology, hasn't it? If astrology isn't real, why is everything happening like it is, right? So today I'm going to be using the Morgan Greer Tarot to pull some cards, but I'm also going to use this oracle deck, the Vessel Oracle deck, a Spirit Speak Oracle deck, to just kind of tap into some extra fun stuff today because it's been a very interesting summer, right? It's been a bratty summer, but more than that, it's been just like chaos, a little bit, right? Like a little bit of just minor things are happening in the world, right? Just small things. Nothing too major or rocking the boat. Right? Right. That, of course, is me being facetious because it's been a very weird and eventful summer faux show. So with that said, we can kind of think about that going in to, or think about that as we go into this reading, is kind of thinking about just the collective energy that has been happening lately, but especially during this Leo season. So Leo season started last month. We are going to be in Leo until the 22nd when the sun enters Virgo. Right now we can also see that Mercury is in retrograde. Tomorrow it starts that whole process, and tomorrow we also have Venus moving into Virgo. So there's a few things happening tomorrow on August the 4th that indicate, or well, can indicate some interesting changes or interesting new energies entering the chat, right? So one thing to think about with Leo is it is a very creative energy. It is a fire energy, but it is also in the tarot seen as the Strength card. And of course, I'll try and remember to link any videos that I did about the Strength card in the past. Feel free to comment down below if you want me to talk about Strength in Leo for this year. I've done some of these kind of like deep dives or like into what these cards, how they relate to the astrology and how we can use tarot and astrology to kind of help give us a picture of the archetype. We do have imagery from the mythos of the astrology, but tarot can also be a helpful player in that understanding and deepening our practice, right? So let's just start, as I'm shuffling, talking about the Leo energy. Like I said, tomorrow there's a few other transits happening. And what this can kind of help indicate is that there are some shifts. When we talk about a new moon, this is the rebirth. We are planting seeds. Whereas in the full moon, we might be reaping, right? We sow and then we reap. So planting seeds of intention can be really important. And because the sun and the moon are in the same sign, this gives us an extra oomph to the energy of Leo season. So let's just do a quick card pull around what seeds are we planting for this new moon? What seeds are we planting for this new moon? What seeds are we planting for this new moon? What seeds are we planting? King of Cups. Whenever I see a king, I know it's about knowing thyself. Know thyself. Know thy heart, specifically. Cups remind us of our dream state, subconscious, but also the heart space, the cup that we are constantly filling up or emptying out to support others. When we see kings, this is us. I don't see them as other people, but this is us. And if you see it differently, that's a you thing. You can interpret cards however you want, because that's life. Life is a box of chocolates. You can pick which ones you get. You just might not know what you're getting into. Who knows? Anyway, so King of Cups. This is a good card about reminding us of stepping into the mastery of the heart, understanding the heart, and truly integrating what the heart has to teach us. There's so much love overflowing when we know how to harness the power of the heart, not necessarily spilling out everywhere and leaving ourselves empty or frantically carrying it, but there is strength and understanding in knowing thyself. So the seeds we are planting in this new moon, my interpretation of this is we are being asked to learn how to step into this role. We are learning how to step into this role, or we are being invited to step into this role, the mastery of the heart, the awareness of self, and the strength of knowing thyself. There is also the invitation here to be the authority, right? So with the king, you are in the highest level of the land, right? So you are the authority of your own heart. It is not up to others to tell you what you want. It is not up to others to tell you what you have to do. It's all about channeling these things for ourselves, because then we can sit in this seat of power and knowledge and understanding. And that, I think, is a really good place to start here. Is our seeds that we're planting is the mastery of the heart. This might be a very heart-focused experience, especially thinking about Venus moving into Virgo. This is like the energy of our earthy self really coming home to value what is good for the physical. The heart is intertwined with that. So as we know how to nourish our heart, this will trickle out. That's what I'm doing. Trickle out. So either starting to master those skills, stepping into knowing that you are the master of those skills, or acknowledging that maybe you haven't been doing that. Maybe someone else has been calling the shots, and it's time for you to say, no, I know thyself. I know myself. I know what I need. I know what I want. I can listen to my heart and do it from a place of authority without overwhelming, right? Because it's still water. It's still fluid. We can listen to the heart without being overbearing, without being overwhelming to others and putting ourselves in a precarious position, right? Let's ask this. How do we honor? A card for teaching us how to honor our heart space, this dark moon. How do we honor our heart space in this dark moon? This has been a card that keeps coming up. How do we know, like, mastering the heart space? How can we tap into the heart space? Knowing when to hold them, when to fold them. Know when you don't have to do it alone. Know when you don't have to be left out in the cold and in your pain. there is no reason to hurt all by yourself, right? Now, sometimes we might feel isolated, and that is part of life. We can reach out to our friends, our family, our community, or even just spirit or whatever higher power you believe in, and surrender. Surrender because it hurts not to. Surrender because you don't have to do it alone. Surrender because you deserve to have a break. So mastering the heart space, how we do that, how we step into this, is actually understanding when we need support. Now, this is a Pentacles. So guess what? Pentacles remind us of the physical limitations of the world, the physicality of the world. So maybe you're getting overwhelmed with how much you're taking on, whether it's at your house, work, or in your relationships, the nitty-gritty day-to-day, those people we come in contact with. Maybe it's time to start asking for help. And listen, not everyone's going to be available to do that. That's not the focus here. The focus here is having strength to acknowledge that you don't need to do this alone. So yeah, some people are not going to be able to show up for you even though you ask. It's time to embrace that fear. It's okay. It's okay to be afraid of these things, but it's also okay to just want them. So, with that said, let's pull a card from the Vessel deck on what is a word to remember. These are all kind of like words or phrases. So what's a word or phrase we can tap into in order to kind of follow the lessons that are being brought up in these two tarot cards? What is the medicine of these two cards? Anxiety. Listen, I will pull this card and be like, what the fuck, why? But like, knowing thyself in the heart and knowing when to hold them, when to fold them, and ask for help. The number one thing that might get you tripped up is anxiety. That could very well be a major part. This feeling of like tension. You can't do certain things because certain things will happen. An expectation around like, okay, this is bad for me, or I have to do things this way, or I have to learn how to harness the power of my own heart. Notice in your body, because literally our bodies and our hearts, depends, each person is different, and that's the truth of God's word, is every person is different. So how you kind of connect with your heart is going to look different for each person. But I think generally speaking, anxiety can be the biggest pitfall when we are trying to understand what we are doing, when we are trying to understand who we are and why we do what we do, right? So if anxiety is getting in the way of your heart space and getting in the way of you asking for help or knowing when you have to ask for help, the tension that we hold in our bodies, our hearts, our souls, that is a huge window into the power of what's going on, into the truth and the fullness of what might be getting in the way and escaping us, right? There are many things we can do to support ourselves with anxiety. I'm a witch who loves medication. It works for me. It helps me. I have a lot of reasons why I need it. That's not for everyone, though. So it might be tomorrow, really sit with your heart, sit with your tools that support you, whether that's meditation, walking, exercise, art making. Take some time to really think about what are the tools that support you When you're having anxiety, what are the tools that support you? Is it breath work? What could it be, right? Is it just going outside? Is it spending time with family? Because once we understand a little deeper on how to work with this energy, we will be moving out of the trials and tribulations, or at least some of the major ones, where we feel helpless, where we feel out of control, and we feel lost, right? When we understand how to kind of like come to terms with these two things, because again, there's a lot of bullshit happening in the world. It is okay to be anxious. Okay? It is okay to feel lost, confused, and just at the end of your rope. However, what you do with those feelings is really where the mastery comes from, where your ability to understand and know thyself. Because again, not everything is going to be obvious and clear. Not every day you can like use your tools of coping. Sometimes there's deeper lessons within these cards so that we can come forward as the king, as the know thyself motherfucking energy, the hot girl shit, the brat summer. Feel your feelings, babes. That is going to be a big one, I think, for this dark moon, especially with this shift in Mercury and Venus. These are more personal planets. So focus on really standing in your power tomorrow, or in the days today, or leading out after the new moon in Leo, which is on August 4th, just FYI. Remember those energies, remember how to tap in and listen to yourself. You have the authority to just listen to yourself. It might be hard, it might be something that takes practice, and that's okay. Because guess what? As we learn to trust ourselves and our bodies, especially if you've grown up learning to not trust what your intuition is telling you, it can take time. It's a muscle that requires a lot of exercise. But listen to it. Listen to it and take your time. Drink lots of water. Listen to the emotional body. Listen to the physical body. And really think about what helps you with anxiety, right? Because things are only going to get more kablamo crazy. It seems at this point, right? So with that said, let me know down below what your thoughts and feelings are. If you want me to cover Leo as the strength card, I'm happy to do that. Just FYI, I have this. This is what the strength card looks like. This is the energy for Leo. So if you are wanting to connect with that a little more, do that. With that said, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, week, month, year. Again, make sure to drink water, take walks, do what you need to do. Let me know if you want to deep dive into the strength card and Leo season or anything else. I'm here for you. I'm here for it. Links to connect with me on other platforms down below, including my new podcast episode on the Subnormal podcast, which features another dope artist who does amazing live murals at festivals. So make sure to check that out. Again, my link tree is down below. Okay, I'm gonna go for real. Until next time, bye-bye.